I'm John Higgins and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'd like to give you a brief summary of how I prepare for some of the hymns for service playing at church on Sunday. And one of the particular hymns that we'll be playing this week is the Old One Hundreth, All People That On Earth Do Dwell. A wonderful, loved hymn and well known. And so I'm working through all my registration notes now. And the first thing I like to do is read through the words of the hymn to see what are the important things that have been said and any particular emphasis, and how I can use stops on the organ to paint word pictures with sound. I think one of the best exponents of this on YouTube is Richard McVeigh from Beauty and Sound, and his marvellous experience in English choral music is most evident through his virtual church videos where he plays a lot of hymns, and he even varies his registrations within the verse itself to paint the picture of the words, which is just outstanding and very enjoyable. At my skill level, I tend to mostly keep the registration the same throughout the verse, although sometimes it's lovely to maybe add some stops for the refrain if it's a bright refrain, but we don't have that in this case. So what I'm going to start with is a strong principal chorus so that everyone is confident and well led to start. I've chosen to go with the 8 and 4 foot principals on the swell, coupled to the great manual with the 8 foot gamba, 4 foot principal and mixture, which is 2 2/3 and 2 foot ranks from the great. And this gives a much lighter and brighter principal chorus. I'm not using the open diapason, which is very heavy and round, because I'll use that later in the hymn for emphasis. Something else that's very important, which I've talked about on other videos on my channel, is introductions. That a good, clear introduction is essential so that the congregation are well prepared, that they understand the tempo, and that they are confident when to start. And so I like to try and use a combination of the opening phrase of the hymn and the closing phrase. That's not always possible, but in this case I think it works. So what I'm going to do is to pick out part of the opening phrase, which I'm going to play with just the soprano voice soloed out so that the melody is clear and unmistakable. And then I'll bring the 4-part harmony in for the last phrase of the hymn, so that it ends on the tonic chord and is very clear that's the conclusion, and to prompt people to be ready to stand and sing. So it'll go something like this. Explanation for everyone, that they can hear the tune at the beginning. And then we finish with the pedals on the tonic. And then there's differing opinions, but I think somewhere in the order of perhaps 2 beats approximately should be allowed for the gap between the end of the introduction and the start of the hymn, and be consistent. Whatever gap you choose, make sure you're consistent, because the congregation get to know you, and you have to integrate with them for it to be smooth and effective. Another way which I like to use is to simulate, if you're not confident to sing aloud, which I don't think my voice is particularly good, so I don't tend to sing much when I'm playing, but to take a deep breath as if you were singing. So when I'm playing the last chord, then I'll go, and so forth. So that way I'm consciously giving myself the opportunity to take a breath and inviting them, the congregation, to take a breath too. And I find that over time people understand that and respect that you're allowing them to take a deep breath, and that helps them to be confident because they know when you're coming in on the first beat of the first verse. So let's have a listen to verse 1 now with the principal chorus registration. Then for verse 2, I'm going to remove the mixture and bring out the open diapason on the grate, so it's less bright without the mixture, but a stronger body and weight of the foundation tone in 8-foot. You'll hear quite a big difference in that sound now. Then for the third verse, there's a few different options I could take, but I thought that with this being a smaller English organ, there's not a lot of options for principal choruses. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, which not everyone may like. I'm playing the right hand up an octave on the swell, and that way I'm effectively playing with a 4-foot and 2-foot pitch because I'm playing 8 and 4-foot foundations up an octave. There is one particular note that's out of tune in the trebles at the moment because of the change in weather, which is not ideal, but that's one of the realities organists have to deal with. So a very different, lighter sound, but still just strong enough to lead the congregation. So then for the last verse, obviously you want a strong finish, so I'm essentially going for almost full organ. And again, you might like to look at one of the other videos that I've posted on my channel about last verse alternative harmonisations that are not essential or required, but can add a nice flavour to finish on a strong note. So I find that Noel Rawsthorne's 400 Last Lines is a wonderful resource. It has some very colourful and interesting harmonies without being too outrageous where you lose the congregation, and the melody is still clear, which is very important. So I'm a little bit rusty on this one because with my back pain and rehabilitation, I haven't been able to do a lot of practice, but I'm going to take the risk on still having a go because I think it's worth it, and it really is a lovely alternative harmonisation. So it opens with parallel octaves to emphasise the tune, and it's really powerful and enjoyable. So there you have it, that's my preparation for playing this hymn on Sunday. So I've got a little bit more time in my practice session to brush that up to standard for Sunday. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for your support. Please do subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, bye.